Today, I'm here with Brad O'Brien, the president and co-owner at Howl at the Moon. How you doing today, Brad?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Chris.
I am very excited to have you. I think I shared this with you before, but personally, I am a massive fan of Howl at the Moon. In case our listeners out there don't know, would you mind giving us a little bit more information about yourself, and then maybe tell us a little bit more about Howl at the Moon, your brand?
I'm the president of Howl at the Moon. I run the operations, and then I'm also a partner in the concept. And Howl at the Moon is a live music sort of party bar concept that's been around since 1990 in many, many, many cities across the year. And we are mostly in downtown urban markets in central business district areas. Currently in 11 cities and opening a few more in the next 13 or 14 months, new markets. So slow growth, but very sustainable. We've been around in most, I think our average store is open over 14 years. And once we get a foothold in a city, we usually keep it going. So that's what we are. And we're also, our brand is, we have our concept on 4 Norwegian Cruise Line ships, the biggest Norwegian ships that are out there, so that everybody can see our show on those ships. And then the third division of our company is our to-go division, which is off-site business, where we take our musicians and we book them off-site. And I think in 2019, we did just about 450 off-site gigs.
Wow.
So the brand that pretty much shapes the brand in those 3 areas. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing concept. It's high energy. I love the dueling pianos. I mean, it's just fun to be around. So kudos to you. You've built a great product. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to visit one. I know I'm excited about the fact you just opened Columbus back up again. That's where I'm at. So
yeah, good. Thanks for the, I'm glad you like the concept so much, Chris.
Well, one of the things I always like to talk about is just kind of how businesses are managing nowadays. Obviously the pandemic is all anybody's talked about for the last couple of years. And, as you and I talked about your business, I mean, you're impacted by almost every regulation that's out there, with the singing and the close quarters and the live music. And then you're also on cruise lines. So, how did your business manage through COVID, and how are you looking now?
So, basically when it hit and they closed everybody down back in March of 2020, we immediately ceased all operations. And we had a war chest of capital to work with to bridge us. The problem is that we didn't know, what was ahead. We didn't know how long was this thing going to last. You talked to one guy, it was 5 years, another guy would be 8 months, and you just tried to navigate that. So we every single day just focused on communicating with our employees to let them know what our strategy was and our expectations for all them returning, which was very, very critical. We raised capital through different ways. We PPP money, everybody knows about that, but other ways, and really stabilized our cash situation so that we were prepared, because we sat out of business for a long time. And to your point, Chris, we're at the worst. We were at the worst. And maybe not there's probably somebody out there was at the worst end, but we were pretty no singing. Everybody didn't want singing with COVID for sure. Right. And that's what we do for, our concept. So we were held off until very late in halfway through 2021. And then we relaunched. We hired most everybody, some hourly people. I can't, when I say everybody, I would say the majority of people outside the 4 walls, which is our corporate people. And then inside the 4 walls, most GMs returned, thank goodness, AGMs and all that. And we relaunched. And again, I think it was the capital that we were able to secure, and that helped us hold off, closing down. In addition to that, the return of employees, as I said when we were talking earlier, we couldn't have restarted Howl at the Moon without our base of employees. I wouldn't know what we would do. You can't just hire somebody off the street and say run a Howl at the Moon. So that was kind of eye-opening as to how critical it was to have people that like our company and wanted to work with us and needed a job, I guess, to be fair. So
Absolutely. Well, I think that speaks highly to you and your organization. I mean, if people were willing to, stick with you through the entire pandemic, very unsure about when it was going to end. When you talk about your general managers and your people in the stores, what is it about your brand that connects them to you and keeps them there through all of this?
I I'm very proud of the way our ownership, starting with my partner and the founder of the concept, Jimmy Bernstein, who's the one who opened the first one in 1990. He and I partnered up in early 2000. But it's just our culture is that we really, really care about the people that work for us, care about people in general, and we want to make money like everybody else, but we also want everybody else to share in the growth of the company and have sort of lived by that for all the years we built it. And we are big in our category. I would say we're very big in our category with hundreds of employees, but we're very small in the way we operate. I know every general manager personally, and there's currently 11 of them, and new ones are coming. We come from within, but so it's natural, but it's also a focus, meaning natural in the sense that I just like people in general. And I think they tend to like me and they like our other owners. And we don't have 20 owners floating around. It's just a few of us. And we really care about Howl at the Moon and we care about the people that work here. And I think that translated after COVID into a very, very successful relaunch. Thank goodness. But it also has been part of the way we are as a company from the beginning.
That's outstanding. I think that your brand is very unique. People are very excited about it when they attend. That energy has to permeate through pretty much your entire team. How do you capitalize on that energy and the care that you show your team to build a culture for your organization? What's that culture look like with Howl at the Moon?
I think the culture again, it's communication. There's not a lot of layers. If you're a general manager or you're an AGM, it's assistant general manager, heck, even a bartender, and you want to talk to me, you're going to get me. You're going to get me before a lot of other people would outside with Howl at the Moon, and that goes with the other people that work with us. And we are a fun concept when people walk in. Fun is the key word. And we're a fun company to work for. We try to do what we can to make, the atmosphere in the club friendly, not only for the customers, but our employees to join in the fun as well, because that's the whole part of the atmosphere we're after. And then a little more concrete things we do. We take all of our management people to an annual, we have it coming up in Vegas this January, where we do an awards dinner and we really talk about everybody that's at the meeting. It's 90 or 100 people. And we talk about everybody that's there, our vendors, some whatever. So that's a more concrete example of something we chose to do 15, 20 years ago every year, just to really spend 3 days with all of our people and just laugh and have fun. And at the individual club level, when we're not all together at a show like that, we just encourage our management teams to do things like that with the staff. So it's a unique category. You got to keep people interested in working for you because it's easy to leave. It's a bar concept, call it. There's a lot of bars out there you can go work for, and we have to do everything we can to keep people interested in sticking with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we were talking before, you mentioned that you're off to a good start this year. Obviously, Omicron, nobody really knows what's going to happen with that. As you're, let's just say Omicron is going to smooth itself over and things are going to kind of go back to normal. What does your outlook look like for the company over the next, let's say, year or 2 years? Are you expanding aggressively? Are you, kind of holding tight and seeing what happens? What does that look like for Howl at the Moon right now?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, for us, growth has always been one or maybe two stores in a year. Again, we've got to recruit and train musicians for our concept. So I can't just buy more meat for the restaurant or more vegetables or whatever. I've got to have human beings that can sing and sing well and entertain. So we're about to have the biggest growth period that we've ever had with four new openings, or actually it'd be five new openings from Columbus just recently, which was the first post-COVID opening, through the end of beginning of 23, five stores. So the outlook is very strong as it involves new stores. We wouldn't have done that if we didn't come out of. We wouldn't have made those deals if we didn't come out of COVID as strongly as we did. I don't know how to put a multiple on how we're doing compared to what I thought we were going to do when I would, stay up at night in 2020 wondering what just happened. Like, you got to be kidding me. But as we go into 2022 here, it's far better than where we thought we would be. And that's very rewarding. And I hope most people in our category, because it's the toughest category in the world to operate in, I hope people are experiencing the same sort of honeymoon we did.
Awesome. Awesome. So what about the cruise ships? You said you were on 4 Norwegian Cruise Lines. What's the outlook look like with cruise ships right now? Because I know that's still pretty up in the air depending on what port you're traveling from.
They just relaunched a couple of months ago, and I think I don't I don't run the ship business, but I know from a distance that was, I mean, if they heard me say we're in a tough category, they would probably laugh, because I can't imagine the category cruise ship. But people in the world love to cruise, all over the world, and Norwegian's the best there is. So they got it together. I think they were occupying the ships at around 50%. We relaunched a few months ago, and it was going pretty smooth until Omicron, and then that hit, and now they're challenged. I think they're still holding on. I'm sailing, they're still sailing. I don't know, as I said earlier, this Omicron thing is on us right now. So I don't have any predictions. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's going to go away. But I can't speak to what's really going to happen and how fast. Like, are we going to February? It's all going to be gone. And the cruise ships, I think, are dealing with the same challenge because they have to pre-sell tickets for the future. We just have to open our doors and wait for people to walk in. And if we close our doors, they can't walk in. Cruise ships are in a whole different world,
Right. Well, it's a very interesting business to be in. And I mean, when we were talking before, you're one of the largest, if not the largest nightclub concept out there right now. If we can call it a nightclub right now, I think that's got to be a really exciting space to be in. Obviously a little nerve wracking right now, I think, for everybody. But if I am, if I'm out there and I am looking to make a career shift, right? Because everybody's shifting careers right now. What can I expect, or what are some of the selling points for coming to work for Howl at the Moon, to be a part of your organization?
The first thing would be going back to the organization itself. I'm proud of our culture, and when we bring somebody in, we learn about them, we care about them. You mentioned earlier also that it's out there now that people choose a job for more than just a job. They really, and we recognize that, and we're working on it all the time. And I think Howl at the Moon, like I say, I've never done the study of the people that have been with us and how long, but it speaks I could promise you that it's a long tenure with people that have stayed with Howl at the Moon, and it's a culture, and it's also a fun place to work. We from the minute we start to the minute we end, the music is playing. Everybody likes music, and it's playing the whole time you're in there. So whether you work there or you're a customer there, it can't be that bad, really. So it's as simple as that. It's a fun place to work, and the people that work for us like people, and they couldn't be with us or in this business if they didn't. nobody would work in a Howl at the Moon if you don't like people. That doesn't make any
Right.
sense. So that's our pitch.
Love it. Love it. So, it's a very unique concept. So what kind of training are you doing for people when they get there? I mean, I'm assuming your musicians have to go through some sort of training, and then I'm assuming everybody else from the bartenders, the people at the door, have to have some sort of focused training to be able to create that vibe. What does that look like?
Well, on the musician side, players come to us at different levels. They have to learn multiple instruments, so they might come in only knowing one, and then they've got to learn drums or bass or whatever. They've got to play multiple instruments because that's fun, a part of the fun that takes place on stage. So, and then they come in at different levels, meaning some might take 6 months to play with a band. We'll pay them a salary to train and learn with a veteran crew. And we have a trainee usually going on at every club, if not more than one, to seed the future. Some players come on and they're just ready to go. They're just like rock stars. Either they've kind of been in this business or whatnot, but they are our concept. In terms of recruiting and training hourly people, that's been a challenge of late because of the turnover, the challenge of bringing people back at the hourly level, and specifically in a couple of positions. I think the bartending position's a little bit easier one. I know that one's an easier one. We had a lot of people return to go behind the bar that have been with us for a long time. The other ones, bringing them in, and we almost started from scratch at maybe the server and the door host level, because there was a lot of turnover in that position. Just in our business, there just is, no matter what you do, we do our best, and we certainly have some long-termers in those positions, but it's difficult. Training in that, we just this week had 15 people in Chicago for meetings that ended yesterday in rebooting with everybody, with the key people, our training of everybody from the management positions down to hourly, because it's gotten a little bit scattered, if you will. I don't want to pretend to be a Starbucks maybe, or I don't know what category to put us in, but we have to have consistency in the operation. So it's an appropriate question about the training, because we just spent 2 days on it, and rebooting with some regional people that have been with me with Howl for a very long time, and they're going to be promoted into this role, and they're going to start moving around to the different clubs and getting us a little more back into this, I'm going to call it back into sync from where we were in 2019. I think the customers recognize what I'm talking about necessarily, but our management people, we need the consistency back in our systems and all that. That's a long-winded answer to you, but it was appropriate
It's
because
absolutely perfect. Yeah, a lot of people are going through the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're bringing people back and you're having to refresh them on the way that you do things, or you're bringing people new into your organization, you have to make that investment in training, or you're going to get what you put into it, right? You're going to get inconsistency. People are going to be all over the board if you don't do that.
Exactly.
So if I'm a new leader, it sounds like you have a great core of leaders, but if I'm somebody new joining your organization and, realizing that we're trying to develop leaders now as an industry, just in general, what kind of things are you telling your leaders as they're coming in, or what kind of advice are you giving your leaders as they're coming in to represent your brand out there?
Well, specifically for Howl at the Moon, I think it starts with that you've got to have the right attitude to create the right atmosphere in our clubs. We try to hire according to that, people that are just naturally sort of want to have fun and have enthusiasm. I think the other aspect I would tell a young leader is there's a lot of, as I referred to it earlier, a lot of blocking and tackling in our business. There's a lot of moving parts, and you got to write a schedule, and you got to order liquor, and you got to train people hourly, and you've got to, market the place. You've got to deal with HR issues and new laws with wages. And I call it blocking and tackling because I don't know that there is any other business that wakes up every day and has so many pieces you got to put in place to throw the key in the door and open it. But you gotta spend time on the atmosphere and the culture of the company, specifically for the employees. And you've got to let them know, whether you're a general manager working with hourly people, or you're the president of the company like me working with general managers or corporate people. You've got to spend time asking them about not got to, naturally, about their families and their financial situation, and how's the new baby, or the things that I think in our business, people just put your head down and get the blocking and tackling done, and that leads to the reasons there's so many failures. It's an environment you have to create that people want to be in, or it's not. It's ultimately going to find your way to the end.
And that's outstanding advice, because I think a lot of people right now are experiencing burnout. Everybody's in a different place right now. And I think, remembering that every job should be more than just, as you put it, the blocking and tackling, right?
Right.
There are people in every job, and making sure that as a leader, you're digging into the lives of your team. You're making an impact, and of course that, you're making a fun environment. So I admire the way that you and your team of owners, have been accessible. It speaks highly that you've been able to hold on to as many people as you have. I'm excited for all of the openings that you have going on right now. This is great. I'm excited to stop into the Columbus property and say hi and have my fun as well. So that's
let me
great.
know
So
before you go in there.
I definitely will.
I don't want you to pay a cover charge. I can give you that at least.
I'd be happy to contribute. It's a great brand.
It's awesome.
Well, that's Brad, cool. We've talked about a few openings you have coming up here, but if people want to learn more about Howl at the Moon, where should they go to learn?
Oh, without question, the website, howlatthemoon.com. It's all there. There's videos. You can tour every club. I think everybody, if you don't have a good website now, it's kind of a shame. I think our website is as good as anybody else's. Let's put it that way. We spend a lot of money on it. We got people telling me about changes we have to make all the time. So go there, please, and enjoy it. Hopefully it gives you everything you need to see. Videos, you got it.
Awesome, Brad. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to be here today. I know a lot of our listeners are going to go and try to look up the Howl at the Moon near them or in the city they're going to visit. So thank you very much. And congratulations to getting off to a great start here in 2022.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Very much. Thank you.